Welcome back. And now let's talk about the two laws in physics. The first law is called the Boyle's law. The Boyle's law. Now, Boyle's law in physics is telling us that the volume of a given mass of gas is inversely proportional to its pressure. Now, what is the meaning of that? I don't need you to cram it. What I want you to understand is the implication. So the significance, the importance, the application. Now, what do I mean by that? For you to understand very well, I used to use a balloon for my jam students. So let's assume that this is a balloon now. This balloon, you have not inflated. So you are yet to inflate it. So you are yet to expand it by pouring air inside it. So this will be the normal volume. The normal what? The normal volume. Now, if you start pouring air into it, what will happen to it? It will expand. And tell me, the normal volume will change to what now? It will change to increase in volume. I hope you are getting that. Now, this same balloon, if you pick your palms, as in you use your palms rather, if you start pressing on it, what will happen? So if you use your palm to start what? To start pressing or exerting pressure on it, the volume will what now? The volume will reduce. So if you have some kind of pressure with your hands, and that's what Boyle's law is telling you. Now, what do I mean by all these diagrams? As simple as this. If you inflate the balloon, it's going to be big. Just like this, the volume has increased. So your mouth is still there now. And then after doing that, you remove your mouth. The balloon is still big. So maybe you tie it to the rope, or you just perform some kind of knot here. So the volume is still high. But if you bring your arms, your palms, rather, I'm sorry about that. So you bring your palms together and you started pressing on this big balloon, what will be happening? As you are increasing your pressure, as you are increasing the pressure with your palms, as you are doing what? As you are increasing this pressure, what will be happening to the volume of the balloon? It will be reducing. And that is what Boyle's law says. Boyle's law says increase in pressure will be accompanied with decrease in volume. As simple as that. And vice versa. What's the meaning of vice versa? It means if this pressure, if it reduces, reduction in pressure, then volume will what? Volume will increase. It means if you take off your palms away from the balloon and you inflate it, it will become big again. That means if you take off the pressure, you reduce the pressure, and then the volume will increase. As simple as that. So an example again on the Boyle's law. So if you inflate the balloon, so without applying pressure with your hands on it, it's going to be what? It's going to be becoming bigger. Which means as the pressure reduces, the volume what? Increases. But if you bring back your palm and then you start pressing on it like this, as you're increasing that pressure on that balloon, the volume of that balloon will be reducing. I hope you understand that. That is what? That is just the logic. And now we got this from that illustration. That once you increase the pressure with your palms, the volume of the balloon will reduce, and vice versa. As pressure reduces, the volume increases. As simple as that. Now, we are used to be given a chart in secondary school. So this chart, they're going to put V on top, P below, V at the center, P at the center here, then V on top here, and P below. So they said this chart illustrates Boyle's law. But how? This chart means as pressure increases, pressure is big here, it is bigger than V. So the pressure here is bigger than what? It's bigger than this V. So P is bigger than V. So they said the meaning of this chart is that as pressure increases, the size of the volume will reduce. That's why the V is small in size. And if this V, the volume, if it becomes bigger, the P we have to what? We have to reduce. It means as volume increases, the pressure decreases. I hope you understand that. And that is what the Boyle's law is telling you. Now, That's that about the Boyle's law. Now, the second law you have to understand is what we call the law of diffusion of gases. Law of what? Of diffusion of gases. Law of diffusion of gases. Now, the law of diffusion of gases, it states that, you can write this down. So, air or gases will rush from the region of higher pressure. From the region of what? Higher pressure to the region of lower pressure. That is the meaning of what? Of law of diffusion of gases. It means air or gases will rush from the what? From the region of higher pressure to the region of what? To the region of lower pressure. As simple as that. Now, let me bring in an illustration so you can understand this very well. Let's assume that two people are playing. So this is the scale right here. Two people are playing with a straw. So you have a straw right here. And now the first person is an adult. An adult. So the adult puts his mouth right here. So this is the mouth of an adult now. So let's assume that this is the mouth of an adult. So adult. And then this is the mouth of an infant. Not an infant, but just a child. Capable of doing this kind of play. So simple as that. So the mouth of a child. Now, their aim is to push air either in this direction or in this direction. So the adult will be pushing air to the child's mouth, and then the child will be pushing air into the adult's what? Into the adult's mouth. I hope you understand that now. So they have a straw, both in their mouths, and their aim is to what? To push air into each other's mouths. Now let me ask you, the pressure of these two guys, are they going to be the same? No. The adult will have a higher pressure, and then the child will have what? A lower pressure. Now tell me, who is going to be able to push air more into one of these guys' mouths? Is it the adult or the child? The question is, air is going to rush out from which region now? Is it from the adult to the child, or from the child to the adult? Obviously, it is with the adult with the what? With the higher pressure. So the adult will be able to force more air into the what? Into the child's mouth. And that is telling you that air will move from a region of what? Of higher pressure to the region of what? Of lower pressure. As simple as that. Now let me come back a little bit. The law of diffusion of gases, what it's telling is that air or gases will rush in from the region of higher concentration to the region of what? Oh, from the region of higher pressure to the region of lower pressure. So, to understand that, you can always bring this scenario into your mind. That an adult and a child, they are playing with a straw. So, who can force air more into the other person's mouth? So, obviously, the adult will have a higher pressure and the what? And the child will have a lower pressure. So, the adult will always win that kind of game. So, because air is going to wash from the region of higher pressure to the region of what? Region of lower pressure. Now that you've understand this, we can go back to our mechanism of what? Of respiration. So, I'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back. And now, back to our mechanism of respiration. So, let me bring back the diagram as quickly as possible. Now, we said the mechanism of respiration. We said there is a reduction in the level of oxygen. And then we said this blood vessel can either be the carotid artery or the arc of aorta. And then the chemoreceptors on it, they're going to send an impulse to the what? To the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. And after that, the medulla oblongata will respond by sending an impulse to what? Okay, let me not use this pathway. They're going to send an impulse to the what? To this place. Now, we said this boundary right here is what? Is the thoracic cage, thoracic what? Thoracic cavity. So let's just cage, thoracic wall, proper, yeah, thoracic wall. Now, do not forget that in the beginning of this video, I told you that this lungs is covered by two layers, which forms a membrane. And I said the one that I'm trying to illustrate right here is the what? Is the innermost layer, and it is called the viscera pleura. I said the viscera pleura, it strictly adheres with the what? It strictly adheres with the what? With the lungs. And then I said the parietal pleura is the outer part. And I said that one, it adheres with the what? The thoracic cage, the inner wall of the thoracic cavity rather. So the inner wall of the thoracic wall. So I hope you are getting this. Now, take a look at this. From a mechanism of respiration, we said impulse is going to be sent to the what? To these intercostal what? Intercostal muscles. And then another impulse is going to be sent to where? To the diaphragm. We said the name of this nerve coming to the diaphragm is phrenic nerve. And the name of the nerve coming to the intercostal muscles is called the intercostal nerve. And we said, collectively, what is going to happen is that this thoracic cage, normally, this thoracic wall is going to what? It's going to expand. It's going to do what? It's going to expand. And now, a question for you. If this is the normal volume of the thoracic cage, if this is the normal volume, when it expands after all this process, it is going to change to this shape, this size rather, which means the volume has what? That's the question for you. So the volume has what? The volume has increased because expansion has occurred due to the action of all this what? Of all these nerves and muscles here. Do not forget, they are going to increase the thoracic cage anterior, posterior, laterally. As simple as that. Now, what I want you to learn is that as this thoracic wall, as it expands, it's also going to drag the what? It's also going to drag the lungs, and the lungs will become bigger. Why? Because the parietal layer here is strictly adhered with what? With the thoracic wall. It means if this thoracic wall, if all of it is what? Is shifting away, it means the thoracic wall will what? Become bigger too. I mean, the thoracic wall is going to be dragging the what? It's going to be dragging the what again? It's going to be dragging the lungs. And then the lungs too will become bigger, which means there's going to be an increase in the volume of the what? Of the lungs too. I hope you understand that. Let me come back a little bit. The point is that due to the inspiratory phase, we're still on it actually. So there's going to be expansion of the what? Of the thoracic wall. And because the thoracic wall is strictly adhered to this layer, this black line, that is parietal pleura. As this volume of this thoracic cage expands, the volume of the what? Of the lungs will what? Will expand because it's going to be dragging it together as well. So dragging it apart. I hope you understand that. So it's going to be forcing it what? It's going to be forcing it to expand too. Which means as the thoracic cage, as the volume of the thoracic cage increases, the volume of the lungs too will what? Will increase. As simple as that. Now, according to Boyle's law, I will bring you all those laws now. But first, take a look at this diagram again. This lung, it has its own pressure. So it has its own pressure. And then it has its own volume as well. Same thing with the atmosphere. This is the person's nose now. So this outer part. So this is soap now. All other places outside my body now. So this place, that place. So everywhere I can find air around me is the atmosphere. So there is also a pressure in what now? In the atmosphere too. In the atmosphere. So if that be the case, we said due to the expansion of this thoracic wall, we said the volume of the lungs to what? Will expand. And because the volume of the wall, the volume of the what? Of the thoracic wall is expanding, we said the volume of the lungs to what? Will increase. And now according to Boyle's law, you bring that in. According to what? According to Boyle's law. As volume increases, tell me, what will happen to the pressure? So we talked about that in the chart. So we have V, P, V, P, V, P. So the question is, as volume increases now, what will happen to the prayer? Volume increase. The prayer will reduce. It means the prayer of the lungs, as at this time what? Will reduce. And now tell me, if this prayer now, if it reduces, the volume of the prayer in the atmosphere will what? Will increase. And according to law of diffusion of gases, law of what? Diffusion of gases. It says what? That's why we bring in two people playing with what? With a straw. And we said gases of air will moving from the cheeks of that adult to that of the what? Of the child. Because the cheek of the adult has high pressure. So according to law of diffusion of gases, we said air is going to rush in from the region of what? Region of air concentration to the region of what? Higher pressure rather to the region of lower pressure. As simple as that. Which means oxygen is going to rush in like that. Into the person's what now? Into the person's lungs. And that is the end of inspiration. It's a long way actually. But once you've known this, you've known expiration. Now, you understand that later. So let me come back a little bit. We said, due to the reduction of oxygen in the blood, chemoreceptors will send impulse to the medulla oblongata. And medulla oblongata will send impulse through two nerves. The first one is the intercostal nerve to act on the intercostal muscle. And the second one is the diaphragmatic nerve to act on the what? On the diaphragm, or you call it the phrenic nerve. That's the proper name. So we said these two guys, the intercostal muscle and the diaphragm, they are going to expand the volume of the thoracic cage. And because as this thoracic cage, as it is moving apart, because it holds a layer of the lung, that is the parietal pleura, we said it's going to be expanding the lungs together with it like that. I hope you understand that now. It's as if I have a rubber band in my hand. So if I expand my hand, the rubber band too will expand because my fingers are attached to the what? To the ends of the what? Of the rubber band. So that rubber band is the lungs. My hand is the what? Is the thoracic wall. So as the thoracic wall expand, because it is strictly adhered to the parietal pleura too, it will be expanding the what? The lungs too. And once the lungs expanded, the normal volume will take to what? Increase in volume. You now bring it in according to Boyle's law. As what? As volume increases, the pressure will what? Will decrease. Which means as the volume of the lungs increases, the pressure of the lung, the P, will what? Will reduce. And because the pressure of the lungs has reduced, the pressure of the atmosphere will what? Will increase. And we now see according to what? According to law of diffusion of gases. Air, that is oxygen now, will rush in from the region of higher pressure to the region of what? Lower pressure. As simple as that. And that marks the end of what? Of inspiratory phase. So I would like to rub the board and come in with the expiratory phase of respiration. So I'll be right back. You're welcome back. And now let's talk about expiratory phase. Expiratory phase of respiration. Expiratory phase. Now, do not disturb yourself. In expiratory phase, what you are going to do is to reverse the what? Is to reverse the inspiratory phase. And we started from the inspiratory phase. We said there is a reduction in what? In the level of oxygen. But here, will there be a reduction in the level of oxygen? No. So there won't be reduction in the level of oxygen like that. As simple as that. So there will not be what? A reduction. On the other way around, there's going to be an increase in the level of oxygen in the blood. As simple as that. And now tell me, in the inspiratory phase, we said we have some receptors here. And what those receptors, what they detect is what? Is the reduction in oxygen. Now this is the question. In the expiratory phase, is there a reduction in the oxygen? No. On the other way around, there is an increase in the oxygen level, which means these receptors, they will not do any work. They will not receive the impulse. What they detect is the abnormality, which is the reduction in oxygen level. But after inspiration, we've brought in a lot of oxygen to our blood. So we are going to have increase in oxygen level like that. So they are not going to send any impulse. And if they are not sending any impulse, it means no impulse is going to the medulla oblongata. So, medulla oblongata. So impulse will not be going into what? Into the medulla oblongata. And if there is no impulse going to the medulla oblongata, it means the medulla oblongata will not send impulse to the intercostal what? The intercostal muscle. And then it will not send another impulse to the diaphragmatic muscle or the phrenic to the diaphragm rather. To the diaphragm. And since impulses are not sent to these two guys, are they going to expand? No, do not forget, in our mechanism of inspiratory phase, we said expansion will occur because they received the impulse and that will increase their volume, right? But here, they did not receive the impulse. So what will happen to their volume? It will not increase, it will be a reduction in the volume of the thoracic cage. In the volume of what? Thoracic cage. There will be a reduction because the diaphragm will not flatten out. I hope you understand that. And then the intercostal muscle, they will know what? They will not move upward, outward, anteriorly, posteriorly, superior. You get the point? That will not happen. So their volume will be reduced on the other way around. And according to Boyle's law, if volume reduces, what will happen to pressure? So the pressure is going to increase within the lungs. So the pressure of the lungs will what? Will increase. And once the pressure of the lungs has increased, what will happen to the atmospheric pressure? The atmospheric pressure will reduce. And according to law of diffusion of gases, gases will move from the region of higher pressure. And now the region of higher pressure is the lungs. And then it will move out like that to the region of lower pressure. And that's the atmosphere. And the gas you are breathing out is CO2. And that is the end of the respiratory phase. You can see we did not waste time on this. But for you to understand it very well, I will come with a diagram and quickly explain back as quickly as possible. So, I'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back. Now, for the respiratory phase, let's try to illustrate it using a diagram. Now, we said in the expiratory phase, we said the oxygen level is increased. And we said we have some what? Some chemoreceptors that are meant to take impulse to the what? To this place, which is the medulla oblongata. But we said because there is increase in oxygen level, it means these receptors, the chemoreceptors, will not detect any change. Because what they detect normally is reduction in oxygen from the inspiratory phase. But here we have an increase in oxygen level, so they won't detect it. So there will be no transmission of impulse like that. And once there is no impulse sent to the medulla oblongata, normally in the inspiratory phase, because the impulse is going to be regulated, it's going to send an impulse towards to the intercostal and diaphragmatic nerve. But the point is, it does not receive any impulse, so it is not going to send another impulse too. I hope you get that. And because there are no impulse sent, all these thoracic cage, all these thoracic wall, the diaphragm, they will assume their normal position. So the diaphragm will be pressing against the lungs, as simple as that. And there will be no increase in what? In volume. So in our inspiratory phase, we said all these guys are going to expand and they will drag the lungs, they make it bigger. But here, the volume of the lungs will not increase because nothing is being sent and no expansion is taking place. So on the other way around, there's going to be a reduction in the volume of the lungs. And according to Boyle's law, we said once we have increase in volume, we have decrease in pressure. But if we have a reduction in volume, we are going to have an increase in pressure. So because the volume of the lungs has been reduced, automatically the pressure will be what? The pressure will be what? Will be increased. And then we said the pressure in the atmosphere, because this one has increased, the atmospheric pressure will reduce. And we said, according to law of diffusion of gases, gases will rush out or move out of the region of what? Of higher pressure. And now, in this respiratory phase, the region of higher pressure is the lungs. And then CO2 will move out like that from that region into the what? Into the region of lower pressure, which is the atmosphere. And that is the end of the respiratory phase. Now, what about the pulse? The pulse is the final phase. And the pulse, there is nothing there. So if you want to explain the pulse, what you have to see is that it is the resting phase between the expiratory phase and another inspiratory phase. As simple as that. So, if you have one inspiration, that is, you are breathing in like this. After breathing in, what do you have next? Expiration. So one inspiration, then another one expiration. And after that one expiration, like what you take unconsciously is a pause. So the next thing that will happen is that you will pause a little bit before you start another what? Inspiration again. So that time that you used to pause is also called the pause phase. So you breathe in, out, then pause. Breathe in again, out, then pause. So as simple as that, you can just say the pause is a what? Is a phase between each cycle of respiration. A cycle is breathing in and out. That's the complete cycle. But you have to rest. So that interval of resting is called the pause. So it is the phase between an expiration and another inspiration. As simple as that. And that is the end of what? Of mechanism of respiration. Now I will create one more video. So I'm not coming in again, so don't be scared. So I'll create one more video, and that video, all I'm going to do there is just a summary of what? Of the mechanism of respiration. So if you want to do a revision, you don't have to watch all these long videos. This long video is meant for you to understand it. So in the next video, I'm going to create a what? Just a summary and a chart of what? Of mechanism of respiration. So until then, guys, I wish you the very best. And before we leave, let me quickly tell you about our courses as well. So do not forget our A to Z anatomy. So we have all the systems you can think of. You do the fundamentals of anatomy containing the cell, the tissue, hemostasis, so body planes, body cavities. We have them all in a single course. So apart from the fundamentals, different systems, central nervous system, respiratory system, in which this video is just one out of it. So we have the complete cardiovascular system, endocrine system, lymphatic system, gastrointestinal system, the digestive system rather. So think of any system, we have it right here. So if you need our private videos, just chat up the number that you're going to see in the description below. So that is going to lead you to a private chat with one of our members, and then you can conclude the deal and have the videos at your own pace. So until next time, guys, I wish you the very best.